Hey everybody, it's me Stacey here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com, and welcome to today's Saturday with Stacey YouTube class number 545. Oh my gosh! I'm going to try to contain my excitement because I am very excited. And I tend to talk, I talk a lot to begin with, but when I get excited, I tend to talk a mile a minute, like, so I'm trying to but welcome to today's class. It is something that has been almost a year in the making and that I'm very excited to share with you. Today Scrapbooking Made Simple launches the Stacey Park brand of Sizzix dies, stamps, stencils, and tools. Ha! That sounds so weird coming out, but it is what it is. I'm so excited. Now, before we get started for today, I do have winner chicken dinner to talk about. Hello, everybody. We're live chatting during the premiere. So if this is new for you, hi, I'm Stacey. I'm the owner of Scrapbooking Made Simple. I'm also a licensed designer for Sizzix, Jacquard, and Couture Creations. So if this is all new for you and you're watching me during the premiere, please join the live chat. It's right over here. You'll see us talking back and forth, and you will never meet a better group of crafty individuals. Just as people, as humans, the group that is on our live chat every week is cream of the crop. So don't be shy if you're new. Say hello, tell us where you're from, and let us say hello back. Let us learn about you and welcome you to our crafty community, because I promise you, you will find friends that you didn't know you had in this community. They're so warm and they're so welcoming. So if you're new, say hello. Okay, so again, I'm Stacey, Scrapbooking Made Simple, licensed designer. This is my launch. But before we get into all of that, I do want to do our winner chicken dinner, because I have two winners from last week that posted a comment below, not in the live chat. Live chat, no. Down below, yes. They posted a comment. It was approved, and then they went into the running to receive a $25 gift card here at Scrapbooking Made Simple. So you will not see your comment immediately. We have to approve it because we weed out all of the spam and all the icky. So we get rid of all the icky, approve all the wahoo kachoos, and then you go into the running, and you just never know when I might call your name. If you don't post, I can promise you, I'm never gonna call your name. And what do you have to post? Anything that's kind. Hello, have a nice day. I had a nice day. Having a great dinner. You can post things that maybe you want to share. It doesn't have to be anything specific. It just has to be kind. You can tell us you're having a bad day. You can tell us that your car broke down and it sucks right now. And somebody will tend to say, yep, we understand. So just post below, keep it kind, and it will be approved. So I have two people. The check mark, the boxes aren't checked marked, so I don't know if their winnings are in at this moment, but before I leave, I will make sure it's done. I hope I will make sure it's done, but if I don't, email me and say, put my winnings in, because you get a $25 gift card to your online account. So our first winner who posted a comment in YouTube number 544, which was 3 creative ways to use creative expressions, new background stamps with Hero Arts and Jacquard. Our first winner is Michelle Rickard. Hello, Michelle. Now this is a person from live chat. Michelle and I don't know, we've never met. I don't think we've ever met. I'm pretty positive we've never met. And yet I know Michelle. I know Michelle well. All through the live chat. These are my friends. You are my friends. And I know you even though we've never physically met. Our second winner is Penny. Penny Freeman. Hello, Penny Freeman. How are you doing? Well done, you. You two are a winner chicken dinner of a $25 gift card to Scrapbooking Made Simple. And well, today's a pretty good day to get some free money. If I say so myself. So we have to do the winner chicken dinner dance before we can move on, because that's just what we do. So Michelle and Penny, you just sit right on up. Sit right on up and let's do the winner chicken dinner dance. Are you ready? You're a winner, chicken dinner. You're a winner, chicken dinner. Wahoo, ka-choo for you. Congratulations to the both of you. I hope you find something in today's YouTube that you love, love, love. Or I hope you find something that you've been wanting to get and just couldn't bring yourself to hit the button to buy. Now it's free. So buy. All right, so today is a special day. It is almost a year in the making. In just a few weeks from now, I will have signed my contract. Last year, around this time last year, I signed my contract with Sizzix, with Ellison, to be a licensed designer for them. And my collection, my very first collection, is launching here at Scrapbooking Made Simple right now. I have new layering stencils, I have new stamps, I have a new tool, a new gotcha tool, and additional product. I asked them to do some very specific paper for me and sanding blocks for me, and they did. So as one of the newest Sizzix licensed designers, I am so excited to share my collection with you. However, I want to address the elephant that's been in the room. My collection launched on March 1st, but I did not have my collection March 1st to sell to you. Nope. And there were lots of emails and questions and phone calls and people coming in the store. When are you going to have your own stuff? Are you not going to carry your own stuff? Why aren't you going to carry your own designs? And so I wanted to take the opportunity to explain that to you, because it's important to me that you understand the reasoning behind. When Sizzix and I first started talking about being a licensed designer, hi, I'm Stacey. I'm a licensed designer for Sizzix, Jacquard, and Couture Creations. I originally, my answer was, I don't think so. I'm a retailer. It's, who's going to want to buy from a retailer? Nobody knows my name. I'm not sure I want to do this. And the more we talked, and I saw the opportunity for things that I could never, ever accomplish under my own brand. Under my own brand, I simply defined, there were things that I would have loved to have been able to do, but as a small independent retailer, because at the heart of it, that is what I am. I am a small mom and pop retailer. I could never afford to do some of this. So as we were talking, I said, okay, and I said the very first thing is I can't launch my own product. I can't launch my own product. When it releases, it has to release everywhere else first. I can't have it ahead of time. That would be wrong. And why is it wrong? Well, because I am a retailer and I understand how much effort independent retailers and online store retailers, all the effort they put into running their business. My typical work week is almost 80 hours. Scrapbooking Made Simple is the sole provider for my entire family. So I work. I work because I love it. I work because I'm passionate about it, but I also work because, well, I need to work. So to have my collection first, or to have it beforehand, what does that say to other retailers? Here I'm saying, hi, I'm Stacey, new licensed designer. Come buy my products and sell them in your store, but I'm going to launch it before you. Or I'm going to have it at the exact same time as you. That didn't seem fair. It's not fair. It's not that it didn't seem fair. It's not fair. It's not right. And I can't say I'm 100% perfect all the time, because I'm not. But when given the opportunity to do the right thing, I really try to do the right thing. And the right thing was for Scrapbooking Made Simple to take a step back and let those retailers who were taking their money to buy into this. They're taking their money and they are taking a gamble on me. They know Sizzix is a sure thing. I'm the one who's the variable. How can I ask them to do that if I'm going to then not support them in that effort? I have to, because I'm them. I understand what it's like to own a retail store and trying to keep all the balls in the air at the same time. So it's not that I didn't want to have my product March 1st. It's that I chose not to have my product March 1st, giving retailers the opportunity to share it with their customers and open the packages and maybe make a make and take with some of it, or have a crafty day and play with it. That's the right thing to do. If they're going to support my brand, I need to support theirs. So for all of the retailers, because I know that there were retailers out there who said, nope, we don't want to necessarily, carry another retailer's product. But for all of those retailers who trusted me and believed in me and took a chance on me, didn't even know who I was, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to do right by you and Sizzix and our crafty community. And for those retailers who are still on the fence, well, I understand that too. I'm not always the first person to bring something in. If I'm not sure about it, I really have to think, because I only have so much money to spend on product. So hopefully you will see me for who I am and know that I am all about the retailers. Online, mom and pop, brick and mortar, absolutely all day, every day. And if you were to watch my videos, you will see that I often say, if you have an independent store to go to or a favorite online retailer and they are carrying this product, purchase it from them first. Then, if you can't get it anywhere else, we are here for you. Scrapbooking Made Simple is here for you. However, if you're a local person, come see us Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. We're not open on the weekends because we can't get staff to work the weekends. That's the plight of an independent retailer. So I just want to say thank you to all of those stores who said, Stacey Park, yeah, let's give her a try. And I promise to continue to try to do my best for you and your customers by bringing you inspiration and classes and beautiful products that don't quite look like a Sizzix product, or maybe does something that a Sizzix product has never done before, like my fanciful framelits that can be used with a foiling machine. So super important to me to recognize that retailers have a choice. And for those of you who said, yep, let's give her a try, thank you for that. I know you didn't have to, but I so appreciate that you did. Now, it takes more than just the retailers, and it takes more than just Sizzix to make all of this happen. I have a very small staff here, a very small staff. In fact, 3 of the staff members are family members. I'm not sure how that's working out. I love having my family here, but my boys, my 2 sons work here, and they literally work like from here to there from me all day long. I love them, but then I go home and they're there as well. And Mr. SMS, well, he's up here working and with Ellie, our dog. So we are all here every day, and that makes us a true mom and pop business. But I have SMS girl Claire who works on samples, and SMS girl Renee. Renee is only down to just 1 day a week. And SMS girl Elena, and former SMS girl Belinda, who had to stop working for us to take care of her family. these are girls who SMS girl Doris, who retired. Yay, Doris! But she still makes samples for us. So all of these lovely people in my life who help support. But then there's a whole new group of you out there, a whole new group of makers who have come and taken part and risen to the challenge and put your heart and your soul and your creativity behind so many of the makes that I get to share with everybody today. These are makers that are on Instagram, just small like me. They're so talented, but not like, ha, they're kind of like, ha, trying to get to ha, and they put their love into these makes that I have for you. They put their time and their energy and their creativity and their thoughtfulness and their inspiration. It's all into a beautiful package that I get to show you as a sample. I want to recognize these people because without them, they're every bit as much of an important piece of the puzzle as I am, as Sizzix is, as my staff is. Without every single piece of that puzzle coming together, it's not whole and it can't be done. Everybody does their part, and when we come together, we create the most beautiful whole, the most beautiful puzzle. So I have taken their makes, and today I'm going to walk you through stamps. I'm going to do a little stamping, and then I'm going to show you the samples for the stamps. Then I'm going to do a little of my 4-layer embossing, or 4-layer stenciling, my 4-layer and stenciling. Then I'm going to show you the samples that go with that, and then I'm going to finish with my fanciful framelits, because those do go through a foiling machine. They do so much more, but I'm going to work with those last, and then I'll show you those makes. So everybody sent in their makes, and my girls brought in theirs, and I've got them absolutely everywhere, but I've commingled them. They were in nice little piles that had everybody's name on it, but I've commingled them so that all the stencils samples are together, all the stamp samples are together, and all the die cut samples are together. So I want to recognize these people who have taken time from their life to help me without even knowing me. Like those retailers who didn't know me. They're like, Stacey who? Or those retailers who do know me, who said, really, Stacey? She's another retailer, but let's give the girl a try. Let's see what she can do. These people, they said the same thing, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. I'm going to read their names, and hopefully I don't miss anybody. So I've got Zelda Coggill. Hello, Zelda. Hi, Zelda. Zelda put chocolates in one of her makes last time. Kelly Perez. Hey, Kelly. Milla Lampion. Hi, Milla. How are you doing? Brenda DeLoyer. Oh, Brenda. Beautiful as always. And Kelly Kitteringham. Did I do better, Kelly? I'm trying to get your name right. Kitteringham. Hello, Kelly. Thank you for everything. Britt Bass, who walked into my store one day and we just started talking. That's how Britt and I came to be. She walked into my store and we just started talking. And now I have made a new friend. Hey, Britt. Tanya Brooks. Hello, Tanya Brooks. Well done, you. And Susan Babcock. Susan, thank you. Thank you for everything. Okay, I have Dana. Dana, I don't know your last name. If I find a sample, I will see what I can. If there's like an Instagram hashtag, something on there. And last but not least, it's Brennan Kane. Brennan is the only guy right now on the team. James is not working. He's not working on samples for me. James is working on samples. My son is James. He's working on samples for his own stuff. So Brennan, thank you. And Brennan, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. Everybody, Zelda, Brennan, Dana, Susan, Tanya, Britt, Kelly Ketteringham, I'm gonna get that name right, Brenda DeLoyer, Milla, Kelly Perez, thank you. Your talents and your creativity and your inspiration, they just make my heart happy. So I need to acknowledge it takes everybody to make this happen. I am just this much. I am just one piece of the puzzle. So I'm gonna tilt on down. We're gonna get started for today. I've got so many samples to show you. I'm not showing everybody's, I'm showing something from everybody, but I can't show all of it. There is so much here, but I did pull a good portion of it, and there is something from every one of the makers that I talked to, whether it be one of my SMS girls or honorary SMS girls, or one of the outside makers who has come together to say, hey, we support the Stacey Park brand. Thank you. And everybody at Ellison also, thank you. Okay. Let's tilt on down. Let's get started for today. I know it was a long intro. Oh, no, wait. I should also tilt back up. Just so you know, my releases will always be delayed. They will always be delayed. My next launch is, I believe, May 1st is the tentative. I will not have it here at Scrapbooking Made Simple for a few weeks after that. And that is how we're gonna roll, at least for now, to support, I'm probably forever, to support all of the retailers out there so that you know I got your back and hopefully you got mine. All right, down we go. Okay, so let's zoom on in. I know that was kind of long, but this is kind of a big deal, and there was a lot of questions why I didn't have my own collection first. Because I don't. All right, so let's show you some samples. This one's by Kelly Perez, and it's at Jordan's Corner. So she's used my new stamp set, and she's used one of my fanciful framelits. So this is going to go into the stamp pile. Then I've got one, this is by SMS Girl. I think this is Claire. And Claire has used several of my fanciful framelits, and can you see the embossing element on them? I think this is SMS Girl Claire, and that's going to go in the die cut pile. And then the last one I have to show you is Susan B. Cards. This is one of my layering stencils. So I think I'm going to start with stamps, and really the dies are where we're going to spend the majority of the time, but I do want to start with stamps. I've got my new Sizzix Stacey Park, and you're always going to know it's Stacey Park by the teal. You don't even have to look for the logo. You see this teal down the side, that tells you it's a Stacey Park design. When it's hanging up in your retail store and you walk into that retail store and you see that teal, you're like, oh, Stacey's got something else out. I do. So I have 4 stamps for you, and I want to show you the size. Here it is on the package. But here it is in real life. You're like, oh man. I know, it's big. I chose to go big. This is what the package looks like, but the stamp actually takes up the entire packaging. This is an A5 size stamp. And you're like, why did you go so big, Stacey? Well, I went large because I wanted you to be able to do an A2 card. I wanted you to be able to do an A6 card. I wanted you to be able to do a 5x7 card. I wanted you to be able to do a mini slimline. I wanted you to be able to do a slimline card. So if I gave you one stamp that allowed you to do everything, that makes that stamp more valuable. If you had a stamp that was only this big, but you wanted to do a 5x7, it's always harder to take something small and make it bigger, but it's easier to take something bigger and cut it down. So the majority of my stamps, even going forward, even when they're not a solid background, will be A5 in size. Maybe in future releases, I've done smaller elements to make up a bigger element, but I'm still using my full size of my template. And these are high quality photopolymer stamps by Sizzix under the Stacey Park brand. There are 4 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And yes, this one is equally as big, top to bottom, because I made it so that you can trim it out to do an A2, an A6, a slimline, a mini slimline, and you will see the samples. They are absolutely gorgeous. You are able to take an element stamp like this and cut it down to the sizes that you need. I was also able to add a few sentiments onto this stamp set. So where I had extra room in my template, because that's kind of what they do. They say, okay, you've got this much space to design in. If I had extra room, I filled it because that's what I'm known to do. I always fill the room until I get an email back that says, you have no more room. There's no more room, stop. So 4 new stamp sets, all in that big A5 size. And what's really important and exciting to know about all of these stamp sets is that coming in future releases, there's coordinating product that's going to work with all of them. In May, it is these 2. We'll have coordinating product just for these stamps. Now, the product will be standalone, so you can use it by itself, but you're also going to be able to use it with these 2 stamps. And later in the year, that same coordinating product is being developed for these 2 stamps. So Sizzix considers me, well, I actually named myself an Essentials designer, not because I'm Essentials, but because the majority of my product is going into Sizzix catalog as an Essentials designer, as an Essentials product, which means that it's ongoing. It's not just a one and done. It's foundational. It's something that they're going to carry for a longer period of time because they're staples, they're basics, they're something that you can go and use again and again. And while floral, very nondescript, depending on how you choose to pull your inks or your embossing powders, you could make this very girly in a baby shower, or you could make this into a wedding invitation by using beautiful golds and ivories in the embossing powder. Up to you. So these are my first 4 stamps. And again, the size. Hello, beautiful. So I'm going to start with these 4 stamps, and we do have an I Want It All for all 4 of them. You can also get just one if one makes your heart happy, or you can just stay for the beautiful inspiration. So first thing I'm going to tell you about is the liner. So this is called a liner, a carrier. You have 2 of them. You have one that's clear, and the clear one is what the stamp that has the actual stamp side that has the ridges, that goes against the clear one. This top is all smooth and no ridges in it, and that's what this liner goes against, or this indexed or carrier. I want you to know that you can feel the printing on one side, and the other side smooth because it's not printed. Always remember that the side that has the printing goes face up. Face up. See, I can feel that printing on the smooth side of the stamp. Should you put it face down and you come back to get it later, is it going to hurt the stamp? No, but is it possible that some of the printing may transfer onto your stamp? It is possible. Now it's not going to hurt anything. It won't. It'll be just fine because it's on the smooth side of the stamp. I just want to make you aware that if you can feel it, it should go face up. And again, it's on the smooth side. The actual stamp image is on the side with the clear. So to use this, I am going to use my stencil and stamp tool because this is a larger format stamp. Let's bring that on over. So I've got my stencil and stamp tool right here. It is a beautiful tool for stenciling. It allows you to do layering stencils as easy as 1, 2, 3. This is an alignment tool right here, and piece of cake. It comes with the lid. The lid comes right in and out. You don't have to clip it in. You don't have to push it in. It's just that simple, in and out. It also comes with a piece of sticky grid. This is sticky grid, and you can see mine is dirty. Holy smokes, artichokes. It comes with one piece of sticky grid, and I'm going to use this until it doesn't stick anymore. Now, sticky grid is meant to hold down paper, not your stamp, not your stencil. It's meant to hold paper in place. So, if I put my piece of paper down and I press it down, my paper is stuck in place. I don't have to use washi tape. I don't have to use magnets. And when I pull it up, it comes right up. This is the sticky is about the same stick as a Post-it note. So it's going to hold things in place, but it's not going to harm your paper. Now, because I'm using this right now as a stamp positioner, I don't need to use my alignment tool. This tool is solely for when I use my stencils. I can put it off to the side. My positioner, my lid, has two sides. It has one that has a grid, and it has one that is smooth. Now, this isn't like other positioners that have been out on the market before, where depending on if you're using a clear stamp or a rubber stamp, whether that be red rubber, white rubber, gray rubber, purple rubber, you don't flip the sides of the lids depending on what kind of stamp you're using. You're always going to have that smooth side going against your stamp and the gridded side facing up. Now, why did they give you these grids? Well, it's kind of nice because you've got a way to line things up. If you're trying to get something in a specific place or a word or letters and you want to line them up, you've got lines here to act as your guide. But if you were to put your line side down, your stamp, regardless if it's a rubber cling or a clear cling, has a little bit more difficult time grabbing onto it because it's been etched with all of that grid. So you're always going to want to keep the smooth side down. That's going to go against your stamp. And I'm going to bring my stamp right on over. I'm going to line it right on up to my paper. And then I'm going to give a press. So I'm just going to do some quick stamping. Up, and now it's in position. If you've not used a stamp positioner before, the beautiful thing about it is that you can stamp, pull up, see if you've got the entire image correct, and if not, you get to put it right back down and it lines right back up again. So let's just play for just a moment, and let me take some ink. Now I am using my Jacquard Premium dye-based inks. I have 12 colors out. They have been wildly popular. They stamp beautifully. And I want to let you know that I primed this stamp. So I took some of my inks to prime it. I took some of my inks and I put it on my stamp. And I let it sit there. I probably let it sit there for about 10 minutes and then I wiped it off. And then I did it again and then I started to stamp with it. And slowly but surely, my stamp became primed. You can try and wash the stamp off. There's a little bit of film that's left from the manufacturing process. So you wanna prime your stamp. And like I said, I left my ink on. My ink is water soluble, it's water reactive, it's dye based, but it'll let you do embossing. It's a little bit of goodness, and with 12 new colors and 12 re-inkers, it's been very successful. My ink doesn't make mud. So put it down, give a press. And remember, I said you can pull up. Oh, look it, I got a pretty good image. Okay, let's do that again so I don't get a good image. Okay, that's not so bad. That wasn't what I was trying for. Let's do it a little less. Okay, let me clean off my stamp. So again, it's water soluble, my ink. Just take a baby wipe. Baby wipe will clean it up just fine. Paper towel with some water on it. You don't have to use an expensive stamp cleaner. I can feel I've got a little bit of schmutz on the back of this from my hand, maybe some oils. I'm just gonna clean that off too. And then I can put it right back down. And let's line it back up. Pull up, and I'm ready to ink up. So let's not ink up quite as well as we did before. Let's just do some, and I'll leave like a big old hole. There, I left a hole. So ideally you don't leave a hole, but I want you to see what happens with the stamp positioner. Press down, give a good press. And up. Oh no, I have a hole. Look it, I didn't get my whole stamp done. Whatever do I do? Well, that's what a stamp positioner does. It lets you come back, add some more ink if you need to, or press down harder in that space and realign. Now remember, there's no washi tape or magnets, nothing. It's that sticky grid holding everything in place. Okay, am I good? Why, yes, I am good. And there I go. So I can fix mistakes with my stamp positioner. Let's go one more time. I'm just going to use the same color. So I'm not even going to clear it off. I'm just going to put it down, and it's going to transfer a little bit of whatever's left, but I'll be okay with that. There we go. Transferred a little bit. So let's re-ink it up. Now my inks are done on a felt pad, and the felt pad is very, very important. There's many different ways of ink being delivered, and when I say delivered, I mean how it's put down on paper or how it's put down on your stamps. Felt pads are different than a foam pad. A foam pad often is used with a pigment-based ink, and if you were to put a foam pad down or a hard foam pad, it will sit there, and when you pull it, it almost goes off. I mean, it's pretty, I mean, it like almost like grabs to the paper, and you get this solid image of the ink. Same color all the way through, solid all the way through. A foam pad gives, oh, can you see the difference? A foam pad gives you a little more flexibility with how you want to lay the color down. Here, I was pressing it right against the felt pad, and it was dispensing that really deep, deep color. However, here, I'm gently wiping it, and you can see the variation in color. It all came from the same pad. Now there's no right and there's no wrong. Foam pads are beautiful and it allows you to put a solid impression of color with one push, but it gives you a little less opportunity to have some variation in the color. Felt pads, they don't give you that one push color, but they give you more variation in the color of the pad. So there's not one that's better than the other, they're just different. And you may have a reason to have both, really up to you. So I've inked it up, and this time I'm not gonna push quite as good. Or I'm gonna attempt to not. So I'm gonna lay it down and I'm gonna push here and I'm gonna push here and I'm gonna push there. And I'm gonna push here and I'm gonna push here and I'm gonna push there and up. It's still pretty good. Over here it's a little light. So right there it's a little bit light, a little bit holes. I can either choose to re-ink in that place or I can push it back down and see if there's still ink there for it to transfer. There it is, filled it right in. Now the stamp positioner is a little bit larger than most, but now you can see my stamps are a little bit larger than most, and there's a new tool coming out for this, coming soon. There's a reason you want this size. They at Sizzix, they've thought about, okay, what do we know we want to create for the future of crafting? So they didn't just make this tool for today. They made this tool for today and tomorrow and next year and 3 years from now, because they have envisioned what they want to accomplish with a platform this big. They just can't release it all at the exact same time. So there we go, easy peasy. Now let's grab another piece of paper and let's play one more time. I'm just gonna keep with the same stamp and show you my inks do not make mud. They blend beautifully. And I am gonna wipe it down because I am gonna start with a lighter color ink. I'm gonna start with a yellow, but I want you to see how you can take one stamp and whether you keep it as just one color or you start to play a little bit. And remember, we're only using white paper, so you have the opportunity to really play with color. Baby wipe. Done. Dry it off a little bit. Put it down. Close it up. Still might be a little wet, but that's okay. Nope, didn't transfer anything. I'm going to start with some yellow. So my yellow is called Yellow Curry. And like I said, there's 12 inks out right now. The goal is to have a collection of about somewhere between 36 and 48 colors is what we're aiming for. And these inks, when they say premium dye-based inks, they mean it. The amount of saturation of pigment in this ink is a lot. So I'm able to use this ink to make several shades of yellow or several shades of pink. That'll be coming up in a, well, maybe we'll do that when we stamp or when we stencil. So I'm gonna lay my first one down. Pull up, I've got some yellow going on, and I'm gonna be happy with that yellow. I'm not gonna do anything more to that, because I'm gonna come in with my next color. And I'm gonna use some of my Caribbean blue. And I'm just gonna hit every here and there. I'm not trying to hide my yellow. I'm trying to enhance and add another color. It's going to line up perfectly. I drop it, and you can see that color transferring on over. Pull up. Oh, see, my colors don't make mud. Super important. Then we can add another color. Let's go with my Admiral Blue. And my Admiral Blue it's a chameleon of a color. Depending on what you put next to it, it changes colors. It can either be this fabulous blue or it can be this purpley color. Love my Admiral Blue because it does a little bit of everything. All right, so I've added a little bit of Admiral Blue. Again, I'm not trying to hide the other colors. I'm trying to enhance. And they're going to blend into each other. And make new colors. Yum. So now I've got several shades of color going on, yet no mud. I could even put, and this is a stretch, I could even put some of my cranberry fizz on, and let's see what happens. It's a little bit of a stretch. All we can do is see what happens. And you can see that color. You can see right through the lid. And you can see that color building on top of each other. And there we go. Now we've got some pinks going on. We've got some yellows going on. We've got a little bit of everything, some greens, some teals, a little bit of everything happening right here. But I didn't make mud. So let's do that one more time. And this time let me use the yellow and maybe the blue and maybe just the cranberry fizz. Give a little bit of a wipe down. Now I didn't wipe down, and you can see the colors are blending. It almost made it purple. I didn't wipe down in between each color because I started with my lightest color and worked into darker colors. All right, and let's give it a little bit of a wipe down just so it's not so wet. Take it off. And we'll do this one for the last one, and then we will move on. I think you will have understood. Oh, I almost put it with the grid side down. I think you will have got the concept. Up. I always start with my lightest color, and I always usually start with a yellow. And the reason I do that is because yellows go with reds and oranges for more cool or warm colors, but it also goes with blues and greens for more cool colors. It's your I like everybody color. I play with everybody. And down and a nice press. And once you've got these stamps kind of seasoned, they're just gorgeous. They really just are beautiful. Now let's come back with that Caribbean blue. That's all I'm gonna do, just a little bit. I can always add more because I'm on a stamp positioner. And down. And up. And you can see how I'm going. And now I'm just going to add a little bit of that pink. So I'm not trying to get one color, I'm trying to get combinations of colors. Dreamy! Okay. Dreamy! Dreamy! Look at the color combinations I made. But you know what color in there? Hello, you know what's not there? Mud. There is no mud here. So, 4 new stamps. 4 of them. The most beautiful floral background with a coordinating product coming in May. Fabulous. This background is absolutely stunning with a coordinating product coming in May. Or no, wait a minute. Which is the May? No, this is the May. And this is the May. These two have coordinating product in May, the one I used today and my other, and then these two have coordinating product later on. And wait till you see how beautiful this stamp is. And timeless. So, I'm gonna move this off to the side. I'm going to take my carrier, the clear one, I'm going to put that right up against it. Now, probably should have cleaned it off first, but that's okay. I'll do that later. And then the side that doesn't have the printing, side that has printing facing me right over the top. And then I can go and store it. Pull this off. And let's move this over to the side because I want to show you some of the samples that we have. Dreamy, right? Some of the samples that we have for stamps, and it's quite a lot. So I'm going to run you through these and then we'll move on to stencils. So I showed you this one in the beginning and she used embossing powder. It's beautiful. She also used my fanciful framelit. And this one is by Kelly Perez. Okay, look at how beautiful is this. Celebrate small victories is one of the sentiments that comes with this set. This one's by Susan B. Cards. It's just lovely. Then we have here, this is the same stamp. 2 completely different sizes in your finished make. You need bigger, go bigger. You need smaller, go smaller. But if you have small, it's a lot harder to go bigger. And this one's by Brennan. Hello, Brennan K. Love it. Thank you for doing the small size. It really helps me show how one stamp can do so much. Again, he embossed and then blended in his colors. These are lovely. Here we have that beautiful, it's called Petals, as just a beautiful background. Yep, this one's also by Kelly. And then here, beautiful. So she didn't use the whole stamp. You can see part of it's cut off. Beautiful. Done with embossing powders. This one's cute. This one's Brenda DeLoyer. So here she's got, look at how cute is that. She's got the background stamp where she's gone in and, oh my gosh, she did such a beautiful job. She's done embossing and then she went in and she colored it. She's got my fanciful framelit there. And hello, Brenda DeLoyer. This is the stamp I was just using. And she just cut out, she grabbed a die. I think she grabbed a die. Or she, no, I think these are die. And she die cut out all of the little circles, added a foil background to them, and look at that. Made a darling 4th of July card. Wow, that looks great. So she didn't keep the die or the stamp in its entirety. She cut all the little circles out to do that. How creative. Okay, so here we go. I hope I have it right. Who did this one? Kelly Ketteringham. Kelly, you're going to love me. One day we're going to meet and you're going to say, I forgive you. I want to make sure I've got it right. Yes. Okay. So here she did. See, she was able to do this whole front with one stamp, cut it and use it to make a gatefold. But what did she, and then here's my hexagon die for her little handle. What did she put on the inside? Hello. Look at how beautiful is this. Look at that. She's got them on both sides, and she used embossing powder, gatefold, my hexagon to close it up. This is all done with my stamps. And we go from that bold to this amazingly soft and sweet watercolory. This is this beautiful floral, it's called petals. That soft, beautiful floral watercolory, and she used my hexagon to build the window. Kelly Kettering, I'll get it. It's beautiful, I love it. And then here, Ketteringham. Somehow, I'll get it. Here, she did the colors like I did, only she used embossing. She put clear embossing over the top of them. Look at how sweet is that. And then one of my ovals. And look at here. Oh, baby, that's what I like. Look at how gorgeous is that. Celebrate small victories. This one's by Tanya Brooks. So again, there's one. Here's the other. It's the same stamp, but look at the size difference. This is the entire stamp. This is, hello, I'm making you a big card and you're gonna notice me, and this is, hey. This is, I'm gonna mail this to you card, and this, at least in the United States, is, I'm gonna hand you this card because postage on it would be quite a bit. But same stamp, 2 different sizes in the cards because you have those options. See, look at how pretty is this. There's that background again. Isn't that just beautiful? This one's by Zelda. I love it, Zelda. It's just beautiful. And here they made, oh, this is so clever, you guys. This one's also by Zelda. She took the stamp that I was using today, and look at how she did this. How amazingly clever are you? She masked this. She masked this off and then stamped and then colored and then pulled up those masks to make the lines. Wow, you go, girl. And I love this one. This one's kind of vintage, kind of shabby chic. This is Brennan. Hello, Brennan. So he's taken my hexagon and he's die cut it and kind of popped it up. He's left it very shabby around the sides, and then he actually fussy cut out from my fronds. This is part of my layering stencils. So there's Brennan. Sending happiness. Yes, you are. Oh, this is Brennan too. Look at how cute is this. Simple, easy, done. Now the next one I'm swooning over. Milla. Hello, Milla. Well done, you. Milla took my fanciful framelits, and she did a letterpress of color around the edges. Then she took one of my stencils, my downtown stencil, and she stenciled the background. Then she took one of my stamps and did white embossing powder over the top of it. Ding, ding, ding. That's incredible. Well done, Milla. And she's Milla Lampion is, I believe, her Instagram with an underscore in between the names. We're almost to the end of the stamps. Look at how pretty. All embossed. This is on vellum and then fussy cut out. Look at how pretty is that. Dana, okay, Dana, Instagram. Dana at Divine, is it Divine Goddess Cards? I'm going to guess that that's it. It's small and my eyes are not as great as they used to be. Dana, I need to know your last name. And then Black and White. Laura Lynn. Laura, I didn't see your name anywhere. So Laura, this is darling. I didn't call you out, Laura. I love this, Laura. It's beautiful. Forgive me for not mentioning you in the beginning. Done on black and white with my ovals. So black paper, white embossing powder. And then we have, isn't that gorgeous? This is all embossed and then watercolored in. And this is also Laura Lynn for Sizzix. Oh, Laura, I feel badly. Forgive me. I promise I'll make it up to you somehow. Pretty. And then I've got this one here. I've got a few of them. These are kind of special. I need to give a little fluff. It says, please fluff me a little bit. So I'm going to fluff it up just a little bit because this one's by Britt. And she's taken a gift bag and she's used my stamp and embossing folder to decorate the gift bag. And then she's got my fanciful framelits and she's got, I think that's from my stencil. So a darling gift bag. And I fluffed it up a little for you, Britt. So cute. And then I have, this one is from Laura. Somehow we lost your name, Laura, but we're going to find that. Look at how beautiful. So done with the petals stamps. She's fussy cut out some of them. I'm going to go back just a little bit just so I can get this in. It's on the easel. It's attached to the easel. It's beautiful. Look at the colors. Oh, and she also used the downtown stencil behind it. So she stenciled the background first and then came back in. So these are just my stamps. That's all I'm showing you right now. And then I have to show you these because these are amazing. Milla took my stamps and Sizzix Shrinky Dink. Now I have a Take Two Tuesday coming up to do something very similar. She took my stamps, stamped on Shrinky Dink, die cut out, and then shrunk it down to make earrings. Here's the stamp that we were using today. So she used Shrinky Dink from Sizzix, my stamp, and my dies to stamp and then cut the shapes out and then heat to Shrinky Dink and make earrings. Now there's one more here, but it goes with the stencils, so I'm going to wait and show it with the stencils. Okay, let me push all of that over to the side because now it is time to talk about stencils. Put that there. All right, so stencils, are we ready to move on? Bringing back my stencil and stamp tool. Yes, it's on sale. Yes, we have it for a special price. Yes, it has a bundle to it. It's pretty amazing. I've now used it for stamping where I needed my lid, but I didn't need my alignment tool. Now I'm going to use it for stenciling where I need my alignment tool, but I don't need my lid. So I can take my lid and move it right on over. Now again, this is an alignment tool. So those of you who have watched my do's and don'ts of the stencil and stamp tool, it has over 300,000 views on it. It is a true do's and don'ts on how to use this tool. And I highly recommend that you watch it because I do many different things with it. I do lots of different techniques so that you can learn how to use this tool to the best of your advantage. When I started using it, I noticed that it had two nibs up here at the top. Two nibs up here at the top. And remarkably enough, my stencils with Sizzix happen to have 2 holes at the top. It was like, well, that's fate. I've got 2 holes here. I've got 2 little nibs here. That must be where I put my stencil. Let me get a piece of paper. Put my paper down. So, me being me, I grabbed my stencils, I put it on there, thinking, oh, it's gonna keep everything in place. But can you see how easy this moves? And I was using it this way and having not so great of a time. I was a little frustrated, and I'm like, what are these, they're not big enough, they're not holding anything, I don't get it. I had put this piece to the side thinking, well, this must be an adapter for when I want to use other stencils or somebody else's stencils. Actually, this is the whole key to the entire program here. This thing, this little plastic tool, is what makes this entire system brilliant. These little holes at the top, they're not meant for you to use with your stencils. They're meant for you to put your alignment tool there, and then when you go to store it, you have a place for your alignment tool that doesn't move. Ha! It took me, I finally said, there has to be something more to this. I must be not doing something incorrectly. There has to be something more to this. So I sat down with no expectations and I just played with it for quite some time. And then there was this light bulb moment. Wow, these, what would these fit in? They fit in where the lid goes. And I can move them side to side and up to bottom, kind of like the Willy Wonka Wonkavator. You can go up, you can go down, you can go side to side. I guess I must need to use this. They have to have a reason for it. And look, it has 2 nibs on this as well. Look at that, 2. But they're much bigger than these 2 nibs. Much taller, much wider. I wonder if I use that with my stencil, what will happen? So I put my paper down on my sticky grid and my paper doesn't move anywhere. And I grab my stencils. Now the stencils with Sizzix, I have many different types of stencils coming out. I've got some with 4 layers. Later on, I've got some with less layers. But they all are going to have the holes at the top. They're going to have the Sizzix name at the top. They're going to have the SKU number at the top, and they're going to have the position of the stencil. So can you see the Sizzix name, the SKU number, and a number 1 all the way over here? That tells me that's position number 1. So then I would have stencil number 2 would have everything, and it would say stencil number 2. Well, that's 3 and that's 4. Stencil number 2, stencil number 3, stencil number 4, telling me that this is how I'm supposed to layer them. Now I do have 4 stencils with Sizzix for this collection, with more on the way. I have one that's called Franz. I've got one that's called Downtown, which is what I'm using. And actually quite a bit of the samples with the stamps, they used this stencil to build the background, and then they stamped and embossed on top of it. I have one that's called Downtown, and I'll be coming back to this in another video, where when I use this with glitter, it's like magic. Same with this one. I have my Floral Impressions. Kind of an abstracty flower, but wait till you see those samples, and I'll be using it in a later YouTube with another product that just makes it look amazing. So I've got my paper on my sticky grid on my stencil and stamp tool. I have now learned that I need to use this little gem of a tool, and depending on where I want my stencil to start, I can take it all the way down. And if I was maybe doing a border, I could run my stencil here and then move it and then move it. If you have a continuous stencil to do a border, you have the option of putting it anywhere you want. And because the tool doesn't have a lip on either side, you can use any size paper that you want. You're not limited. So continuous stencils are phenomenal with this because all you do is start in one place and then just keep moving it right on over, and it keeps lining it up perfectly. All right, so here. I've got my paper down. I've got my stencil number 1. And I knew I was onto something when I clicked this into place, and it's like, oh, wait, these are holding in place. This is now not moving. They're not just popping off like they were with the other. I'm wondering if this is how I'm supposed to use it. Well, yes, it is how I was supposed to use it. I'm going to move my paper over just a little bit. Put this down, and you kind of have to push it down, and then I always run my finger just down the center just to make sure it's done. Now this is going to align my stencil up every single time, and it allows me to pick my stencil up and put it back down, and pick my stencil up and put it back down. I don't need tape, I don't need magnets, I don't need washi tape, I don't need Post-it notes, I don't need anything. Up and down to see what I have. Let's see, what color do we want to play with? How about we start with maybe a light blue. Now I'm going to bring so I think I'm going to start this one with a light blue, and I've got stencil number 1. It's in place. I'm happy with where it's at. I've got my ink. And I'm going to grab my blending brush, tap into my ink, and then I've got a little blending mat over here to tap my ink off because I want to desaturate this ink. Now I'm going to hold this down because this isn't going to prevent it from buckling this way. It's just going to keep everything in line so that the next stencil I put right on top is going to line up perfectly. So you still have to use your hands to kind of walk down as you're doing your stencil. It's not gonna, if you just put it on there and think, oh, I never have to touch my stencil again, that wouldn't be correct, but you can just kind of walk your stencil down. So because the inks are so saturated, I can desaturate them by tapping off, which means one ink color is going to give you several shades or tones of that ink. It's going to give you several saturations. You're like, wait, I don't understand. Okay, let me just show you quickly. So I'm going to tap my ink off. And I can do a really soft blue. Then I can tap off less ink. And pick up ink. And I can make that blue a little darker. Then I can come in and add even more ink and get my blue even darker. All with one ink. To where eventually I'm at full saturation. I can play with my colors, all depending on how much ink I use. So I'm trying to be a little light in here. I probably have enough ink on my brush to do this whole thing right now. And now I can lift it and I can say, am I happy? Am I happy? Oh, I didn't get very much there, and it looks like I missed a whole one right over here. All I have to do is put my my tool right back in the same place it was. I don't want to have it all the way down here because that's not going to line up. My paper's way up here, my stencil's way down there. I don't want to have it all the way over here. I just take it back to the place where I started. And then I can add some more color until I'm happy. All right, stencil number 1, done. Take it off and I'm good. Then I bring over stencil number 2. And I think with this one, I'm gonna use maybe a little bit of my pink, and I'll go very soft pink. Oh, see? Oh, I don't know if you can see that. Wait, wait, wait. Look at how deep and rich that color is. I want to go soft. Boy, I just tapped it in once, and that's how much ink I'm getting. I'm going to just be very soft and very ginger. I'm going to think about clouds and whipped cream, anything light and airy, because I'm trying to keep it light and airy. And you can see I'm walking my hands down with it. And this is my downtown, is what it's called. I have very unique names for some of my stuff. I hope I don't get in trouble, but one of my products coming out has the name Sunday in the Park. Now I can lift it up and I can see how well I'm doing. Ooh, almost baby shower-ish, right? I could come back if I wanted to. Say, I don't want it to be so baby shower-ish. I want it to be darker. All right, let's go in. Maybe I want it to be a little more bold in my color. And I can continue to add color until I'm happy. And I can constantly be seeing what I'm doing by lifting up. Ooh. Okay, yay. I'm just going to finish this one out. And then we'll move to the next. We'll move to stencil number 3. But having that availability without having to realign anything. Usually with layering stencils, that's what takes 90% of the time, is doing the registration marks. But if you don't have to do the registration marks, if the registration is already done for you, well, it's a whole lot more fun. Faster, easier. It's almost like the $6 Million Man. They made it better, they made it stronger, they made it faster. Okay, so I just dated myself with the $6 Million Man. Beautiful. All right, take off that and let's go into stencil number 3. And maybe stencil number 3, I go into that dark blue. So I'm going to bring back the color that I started with, which was the super light blue, only this time I'm going to go heavy with it. Now this is Caribbean blue, so heavy is still pretty light, but and I'm just going straight from the pad. So I'm literally taking it and wiping across and picking up my color and coming in and laying it down. straight across, picking up my color and laying it down. And I'm trying to be as saturated, see, I didn't walk my hands down. I'm trying to be as saturated as I can, because the more saturated I am of this color, the lighter it makes that first blue, which is the same blue. It's going to make that look even lighter. Ooh, now I could leave it like this. I could be done. I could say finished and leave that last one in white. But what if I bring it in and let's do yellow? So I'm going to cover up my blue. I'm going to cover up my pink. I'm going to grab my yellow. And I'm going heavy with the yellow. Or I could go light with the yellow. So I've gone really heavy on one side, but then lighter on the other, and those were the same color of yellow. Just depends upon how much I'm trying to put down. And again, I'm walking my hands down because the alignment tool is doing what the alignment tool is supposed to do. It's holding it in place. It's aligning it up, but it's not going to stop it from doing that. That's on you. Okay, so there we go. And it was just that simple to use. It really was just that easy. And I pull up. And now it's mine to do with as I see fit. What do I want to make out of it? Let's take my baby wipes. And let's take and wipe these off. And you're saying, but I don't have that many colors of inks. I'm just starting and I only have 2 colors of inks, or maybe I'm just starting and Stacey, I just want to get 2 of your inks. Then what do? I can't do what you just did. I only have limited ink. Oh, but that's okay. Remember, I said we can desaturate everything. So let's go in, and instead of using 4 different colors, maybe we only use 2. Maybe we only use 1. All right, so let's take a piece of paper. And let's put our alignment tool down. I just, for some reason, always start at the top dead center. Okay. what do I have there? Oh, there we go. I'm like, what is that? Paper down. Stencil number 1 on. And I'm going to take that Admiral Blue, put my lid back on my yellow. I'm going to take that Admiral Blue, and depending on what I put with it, it's either got a purpley look to it or a blue look. So let's go super light. I've got my Sizzix, I've got my number, I've got my position 1. Now I know it looks like I'm not adding any color at all, but I am. And lift up. Told you I was. I know, it looked like there was nothing there, but there it is. Now let's go and let's add our next. I'm going to keep with the same color. So put my alignment tool back where it belongs. Go to stencil number 2. And maybe just a little bit darker. I want it just a little bit darker. Now I won't know if I've got it dark enough until I look. Oh yeah, that's darker. So I'm going to keep trying to go for that kind of intensity, this kind of color. You're like, what are you doing over there? I'm turning my Go Press Some Foil machine on to keep it warm. Because the next thing we move to are my dies. Now I'll be coming back and doing YouTubes with this product where I'm really featuring just the stencils or I'm featuring just the dies. But for today it's kind of an all over view. So pretty. The mat that I'm using is from Woodware. It's actually an A4 in size, and we've cut it down. So I take the full size and cut it into like 3 different pieces, so I have 3 different sizes to play with. And it's just this really great little blending mat that I can keep right off to the side. And it's held down by my sticky grid. All right, so I'm going to lift up. I'm going to say that's pretty good. That's definitely a difference in color. Now I'm going to move into stencil number 3. Assuming I know where I put my stencil number 1. Oh, right there. Hello. Okay, stencil number 3. And find my Sizzix. Ooh, backwards. Flip it over. I need that Sizzix to be facing me, and that's a stencil number 4. Oh, stencil number 3. Okay, let's go maybe a little darker. So I start out kind of light because I can intensify my color, but if I get it too dark, because I might want to do one more shade of this to see if I can get 4 shades by just tapping off. And I won't know if my shade is dark enough until I lift. But I can lift because I don't have to take magnets or washi tape or Post-it notes to maybe a little darker. I need a little bit more of a contrast. So I'm just trying to get my color to the right color before I continue on, so that way I know what color I'm going for. Oh, I think that's good. So I have light, medium, dark. So that's the shade I'm looking for everything else. That's what I'm trying to accomplish, is right there. I always start a little bit light and I'll build that color up to. I don't try to get to that color with just one pass. I'm going to build that color up to. It's always easier to add color, but once you've got it too dark, it's too dark. It's harder to take it away. And I'm trying to make one ink pad do the job of 4. See, we are kind of like Willy Wonka here. Crafters on a budget, 1 ink pad to give you the color of many. So I don't plan on having like this color in a lighter shade and in a darker shade. I plan on having beautiful colors where you can take them and adjust them to what makes your heart happy, so that you can have lots of different colors, as opposed to having this color and then this shade lighter and then this shade darker. I can achieve that with just one color. I can do that because these are so highly pigmented. I would rather have more colors that I can shade with, that I can change the colors to, and lighten and darken, than have a whole bunch of the same color in different saturations. I can make the saturation myself just by tapping off and playing. So I'm a girl who would rather have more variety in color than the same color in several different shades of saturation. I can achieve that on my own, and you can achieve that on your own. Okay. I think that's good. Let's lift it up and see what we got. Now again, I could be done. I've got 3 colors of purple and a white. I don't have to use my last stencil, but I'm going to try and make this purple or this Admiral blue. It depends upon, to me right now it looks more blue than it does purple, but if I put it next to the right thing, it looks more purple than it does blue. It's kind of a chameleon of a color. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go. Oh, okay. So I'm just going to, I want it as dark and as rich as I can get it. Want to see what we have so far? That's using one color. That's all I did, was one color. That light is light, the dark is dark. It makes that light almost look white. Swipe, swipe, swipe. Swipe, swipe, swipe. So I didn't think I was going to do an ink. I've always turned down the offer to do inks because I never felt I had anything to bring to ink. And that was until I met Jacquard and Asher. And Asher manufactures the inks right here in California. Literally manufactures the inks here in California. And I didn't know that you could formulate ink to do almost anything you want it to do if you know how to formulate. Well, being that I don't, but he does, he asked me what would I like my inks to do. And when I told him, he said, I think we can achieve that. So every dye-based ink is not the same. Every company might have theirs formulated a little differently. I had mine deep in pigment, super rich colors. See, now it makes that light purple almost look white, even though it is a light purple. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 colors. So when he told me well, I can do all of that. I can make that for you. I think we can formulate that. I think we can make them water reactive. I think we can make them deep in pigment. I think we can make them embossable if you would like. I mean, I had all of these things. Now I've put number 1 back on just in case I wanted to add just a little bit more purple or Admiral Blue. It's more blue than it is purple right now. But if I put pink next to this, wowee, would it look purple. But if I put red next to this, wowee, would it look blue. I'm just gonna, so I was able to take stencil number 1 and put it right back on just to darken it up just a little bit. And bam, 1 color, 1 ink, you've got this. Absolutely. Okay, so now we've played with stencils. And remember, we started with stamps. And I have 4 layering stencils. Here's my holder. Grab my lid, close it up, and done. I have 4 layering stencils. I've got Floral Impressions, I've got Around the Block, I've got Downtown, and I've got Fronds. Now with Fronds and Floral Impressions, I was able to add sentiments into the stencils. So not only do you get the beautiful stencil, but you get sentiments that you can use with the stencil or on their own. So I've got Sending Sunshine, I've got So Happy for You, and I can't remember what the first one is. My eyes can't see. Franz has got Happy Birthday, With Sympathy, Feel Better Soon. I mean, it's got just, is it So Very Thoughtful? They've got, I packed as much as I could in on the stencils. And all of them are 4 layers. Want to see samples? Stencils. And again, a ton. So here we have vellum over the top with my Downtown stencil underneath being diffused by that vellum. And this is by Zelda. I showed this one earlier. This is my Franz. And she just used thankful. I believe it's So Thankful for You. She just used the word thankful. And Susan B. Cards. And I love this one. I love the colors they did. They used my fanciful framelits, and they've got this decorator edge around the side of it. This is, oh, Zelda, this is you too. I love this. I don't know if you're putting it this way. No, I like it this way. Zelda, this is fabulous. Fabulous. Love the colors. Ah, but here, how clever are you? Oh, Zelda too. I must have Zelda in the pile. I must be, all of hers are on top. Again, I've got the fanciful framelits, so it's got an edge. She took and used my fronds to make a background, and then she took my stamp that we were using and she masked it so she could stamp into the, wow, stamp into the embossing. Well done, you. That's absolutely beautiful. And here we have Dana. Look at, she's cut into the flower. So where Zelda had more of the flower, Dana has made it smaller and really focused in on that flower. Same stencil, two different looks. And she took the stamp set from here and used it with Celebrate Small Victories. And this is my Inspire stamp, Cosmopolitan Inspire. She took the sentiments and did the sentiments here, and she's got my fanciful framelit there. But the same, but different. Love that. Oh, love the color. So here again, you've got my fanciful framelit, and you can see that embossed detail in there. But look at this. This is beautiful. I love the colors. Kelly Perez. She's got my framelits going on, but that detail of that embossed edge is just stunning. It adds just that little special something without taking away from anything else. And this is Brenda DeLoyer. Look at this. So this is my Around the Block stencil, and I love what she did with it. These little pieces that are white, she went in and she almost kind of zentangled. She added some stripes and some dots to them as opposed to leaving them white. And she ran around the whole thing with black. It's beautiful. This is beautiful. These makers did such an incredible job. Sending Sunshine. And this one's Kelly Perez. It's so pretty. And how fun is this? Just a note, that's on the fronds, on the frond stencil. I've got the fanciful framelit, and they used the reveals paper and they've sanded it to give a little pizzazz on that embossing detail. Then you've got my downtown stencil, and you've got the sentiment from my frond stencil. Brenda DeLoyer. How fun is this? This is just bright and happy. Ooh, but then we get a little edgy. Who's this? Kelly Kitteringham. Holy smokes, artichokes. This is fabulous. I love how edgy it is. She went in and she did the stenciling, and then she cut up. Are these out of, I don't know if these are out of my, hold please. They are. She did this using my fanciful framelits. She took the dies to cut up all these little rectangles. Look at, this is the smallest one in my fanciful framelit. We haven't gotten there, but that's what she did. Holy smokes, artichokes. See, I try not to look at these until you look at them because I want to be as surprised as you are. This is yummy. Oh, I love the colors. It's so fab. Yay. And then we go from that into something so retro. So retro chic. Look at the distressing on this. So this one, and come back. Hello, come back. These two are the exact same stencil. Remember how I told you she went in there and she added the lines and the dots and she outlined everything in black? Well, here it is, very retro 70s vintage vibe and feel with So Happy For You. That came with Franz, and that's Kelly Perez. We've got Kelly Perez and Brenda DeLoyer. Same stencil, totally different looks. Entirely different looks. Oh, and then, well, while we're at it, this is Susan B. Cards. Let's just say one more time, entirely different look. Same stencil. 70s vintage vibe, love it. Ready for masculine, love it. How about a shaker in the bright colors? And she's taken and made a frame out of my fanciful framelits. She's used the stencil. She's made a shaker. It's magic how you can get so many different looks from one card. Look at this. Trust the timing of your life. Maybe it goes this way. She used my stencil as an embossing feature with the new Reveals paper that I've yet to show you. And then Trust the Timing of Your Life comes from my Inspire stamp. Isn't that beautiful? That's so easy to do. I'll be doing that in a future YouTube. So easy to do. And then a Thankful For You. And this one is Tanya Brooks. Thankful For You. Oh, I love this one. Positivity. This is Tanya Brooks too. So this is using, and look, she left it very rustic. This is using the stencil that I was just using downtown. Look at, she just kind of went off the sides and didn't fill it all in, and love it. Oh my gosh. Well, this one was supposed to be in my stamps. No. Yeah. This one was supposed to be in my stamp set. Holy smokes, artichokes. Somehow this got put into the stencils, but this is that. Wow. Hello, you Britt Bass. How fabulous are you? And it wraps around the back. So she took this. Oh, look at how clever are you. Stamped it, scored, fussy cut, and made a card. Britt, this is beautiful. Sorry, it was supposed to be in the stamp collection. I'll put it back where it's supposed to go. And then we have Franz. Again, this is one of my stencils. Yes, all three of them come. It's part of a layering stencil with Sympathy comes with it. And this is Britt as well. It's just beautiful. And last but not least, we have Just a Note, and this is Dana. Just a note on this like handmade crinkled paper with the fronds, and the Just a Note comes with the fronds. So these are my stencils. And they're pretty magical. They're 4 layers. They are not theme specific. You choose the theme by what color paper, what color ink, what color embellishments, what color embossing powder. That's what makes these essentials. That's why they fall in the Essentials catalog for Sizzix, and that's why I coined myself the Essentials designer for Sizzix. Love it. All right, it is time to move on to dies. I have 4 new die sets. They are called Fanciful Framelits, and they are unlike anything that Sizzix has done before. Unlike anything Sizzix has done before. They have done framelits for years, and framelits are a fabulous die that cuts out a frame. Anytime you have a die that goes around a word, that would be a framelit. The word die itself would be a thinlit. But they're beautiful. Standard in shape, pretty common, not overly revolutionary. Are these the only 4 I'm ever gonna have? Oh no. I have an entire collection built around this, not only for 2024, But if you buy this product in 2024, wait till you see what I'm doing in 2025. I know you're like, how can you be talking 2025? I am. I already know how I'm going to add to these to make them even more than what they are right now. That's my whole goal. That's my whole goal in this, is to take product, develop it today, and then bring it back later, add something new to it, change something up, make it relevant all over again. So you could be stamping with this for the next 3 months. And then you say, hey, I've stamped enough with it. I'm going to put it away. But come another release, there's going to be something that goes with that stamp that makes you want to pull it out and use it again. And it becomes new to you. And it becomes new to the retail stores because now they have another reason to show it and to share it and to sell it and to teach with it. This is what my heart is. This is what I wanted to bring to Sizzix. It's not about having my name in lights. No, it's about bringing you product that is relevant and that you can trust in, and that you take your money, your hard-earned dollars, and dollars are very hard-earned. Tell me, I know. And when you put it towards something, you know that there's a reason behind it, that it is meant for you to use for longevity, that you can share it with your friends, and with my collections that I'm going to come back to it and add a little something to it to make it new all over again. That's to help retailers and customers. It's a win-win for everybody. Anytime that you get the opportunity to take something old and make it new again by just tweaking it a little bit, just adding a little something, it's like it's a bonus. It's the cherry on the ice cream. And I want all of my products to have a cherry on the ice cream. So my fanciful framelits, yes, it's only March 2024, but I already know what I'm doing in 2025 for these 2025. I already know what I'm doing because when I designed these the first go round, I had the concept already in my head. I already knew what I needed them to do to give you longevity with them. Am I a little too passionate? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. But I just want to share why I do what I do sometimes. So the shapes are pretty common. What isn't common about these is the way they were developed, where you have a die that will cut just a solid. And then you have a die that will just do an embossing feature. It will not cut out at all, it will emboss in. And then you have a die that will just do a solid. And then you have a die that will just do an embossing feature, and a die to do a solid, and a die to do an embossing, and a die to do a solid, and a die to do an embossing, all the way down to the smallest of smalls. I put as much in as I could. So there are 10 dies in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will do die cutting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will do embossing, and you can pair them together. So you can die cut out a solid and emboss it. You can just use an embossing as a frame. You can take a die, an embossing, and a die to cut out an actual frame. You could use an embossing and then another embossing to put detail into a flat panel. And then you could do a die to cut a shape out and do an embossing so it pops the sentiment up. It's all up to you. And how to keep everything organized and together on your making space? Well, that is the new gotcha tool. So I developed a gotcha tool years ago. I did it years ago. And when Sizzix came a-calling, I wanted an updated gotcha tool. And they said, well, I think we can maybe do an updated gotcha tool. I wanted something sleek and sophisticated and pretty, and something that would sit on your maker's space and just look fabulous, that you would leave out all the time right next to your Big Shot machine. And yet, what does it do? Well, this is a magnet. The entire piece, you've got a magnetic front, so that when you need to keep track of your dies, bam, right there on your making space. It's that simple. You got your dies, you need to pick them up, bam, right there on your making space. That easy. It's very magnetic. It is smooth and sleek. It has my initials on it. The little closure is seamless. It folds right into. It's got a smooth, soft finish back. Open it up, bam, on your maker space. It is my new gotcha, my new and improved gotcha, and I love it. I absolutely love it. It is strong enough that if you were to lose a die under a piece of paper, it's strong enough to waft over. Now, I didn't put the gotcha tool down to find it. I just wafted. I don't know if I can get a good angle of that. So I'm not even close. I'm inches off. Can you see? I'm inches off, and I'm able to move it with my, there we go. You drop one in the trash can, you put this in there and let it, okay? I'm not anywhere close. Let it find it. You're a sewer, all your pins. You have somebody in the garage who uses nuts and bolts and all sorts of things, one for out in the garage. People are buying 2s and 3s of these to put them in different areas, or their different crafty departments. They've got one for their paper crafting, they've got one for their sewing, they've got one for their jewelry making, and then they buy one for the garage because usually one goes missing once they see what can be done with it. So, gotcha tool, brand new. I developed it years ago, and we've just made it better. Bam. So, this is what makes my dies different, is that feature where it is a die, embossing feature, die, embossing feature, die, embossing feature, and so on. Now, I want to show you how to use the embossing feature first, and then I'm going to show you how to use it with foils. So I'm going to take my embossing feature out, and each set has a different embossing feature, so 4 different designs, and I'm going to grab what Sizzix is calling reveals paper. Now, I went to Sizzix and I said, I need this paper. If I am doing these dies, this is the paper I have to have. And they went out and found it. They sourced it, they manufactured it, they made it, they let me pick colors. Is this the last of reveals you will ever see? Oh no, just wait. It's a little bit of a wait, but wait, I promise you. Later, there'll be more. There's 10 different sheets, 4 of each color. The colors are rich and bold and beautiful. But what makes this paper so special? No, I love this color. I can't do that with that color. I love all the colors, but let me pick a color. I don't know. I should have just been okay with it. Okay, let me just I'll pick one of these, and I'll pick one of these. Okay. So what makes it different than any other paper is that it's not solid core. It's not white core. it's color core. So when you tear it, it tears to a lighter shade of the top color. Now it doesn't matter if you tear it this way, if you tear it this way, it makes no difference. One side is smooth, one side is textured. You can stamp on the smooth side, you can die cut on the textured side, but that's what makes this paper amazing, is that it is color core and not white core nor solid core, which means you can sand this paper. Not only can you tear it to a lighter shade, you can sand it to the lighter shade. So of course I had to have sanding blocks. I'm like, dude, Sizzix, if you're doing the paper, I gotta have sanding blocks. There's no reason to do the paper if there's no sanding blocks. So we did sanding blocks, which means I can sand the paper to a lighter shade. Now, what makes that so important? Well, did I mention I have an embossing feature on my dies? So it's not like an embossing feature like an embossing folder, because there's obviously no two sides that fit into each other to force that super deep embossing. This is a whisper of an embossing that leaves a beautiful detail when you are done. So let's cut. Well, I'm not going to actually cut. I'm going to emboss. And I've got this blue, and that will work right there. To make this work, you absolutely have to have what I call a squishy and a knock-knock. Squishy, knock-knock. These two things are required when you use the embossing feature. They now sell it as a transfer set. So they're sold together. You can also buy them separately. We have them, I think, both ways. So you may order them separately and we may send you it as a complete package, but you need these two. Squishy is a silicone pad. That's its real name, but you can see why I call it squishy. And this is an impression pad, and you can hear why I call it a knock-knock. And Sizzix is now calling this, I believe, a transfer set. It is one of the oldest tools they have in the Ellison catalog, in the Sizzix catalog. They've manufactured this for as long as I can remember. It is one of the most underutilized tools in their entire catalog, and these two are two peas in a pod. You most often use them together. When you use a squishy, you use a knock-knock. When you use a knock-knock, you use a squishy. So what do you do with them? Well, let me bring my machine on over. Here, let me just put my little die on my, look at how many it holds, on my gotcha tool. And this is what the gotcha tool looks like all packaged. And again, there's my name, so you know, there's the teal, you know it's mine, you know it's Stacey. It's like, oh, love me my gotcha tool. Okay, so let's bring my machine on over. And I'm going to start with my base platform. Now my base platform is super important. It is the platform I need to use to make an embossing happen. I do not need to use my solo shim. No solo shim. I'm not trying to die cut. But when I do die cut, I will need to bring this back. Your base platform and your A shim or your solo shim come with your machine. I now understand that it has the letter A on it. My machine is so old, my Big Shot is so old that apparently I have an old solo shim. All right, so I've got my base platform, I have got my knock-knock, and I've got my squishy down. I'm then gonna take my paper. Now, it depends upon what side you want to see on your finished project. This is a textured side. This is the smooth side. If I want to see the smooth side on my finished project, I'm going to place that facing down. If I want to see the textured side on my finished project, I'm going to place that facing down. Then I'm going to put my die with that embossing feature right up against it. Right up against it. And then I'm going to take one of my cut plates and over the top. And I'm going to send it on through. And as I send it through, my squishy is going to get longer and longer and longer and longer, and it's going to come out the back end. It's going to grow longer. So you want that squishy to come out the back end. Squishy out the back end. And done. Now what I've got is this beautiful embossing, or I've got a beautiful debossing. Up to me what I want to use. You're like, I can't see it very well. Well, we haven't gotten to the magic point yet. We got to get to the magic. Sanding block. Right over the top. Magic. So you can see where I haven't sanded yet, where I've started to sand, and where I've got a real good sanding. Magic. And you sand as much, or I need to get a new one. I've got little lumpies in here and they're making, I wonder if I put a piece of paper down. That'll get rid of my lumpies. Magic. Look at that. Now I could do this as a card front and literally just have this as a card front and be a-okay with it. In fact, what if I took and used the smaller size? So not only does it come in A4 size, 40 sheets, 10 colors, it also comes in A6 size, 40 sheets, 10 colors. And you're like, A6, what is A6? Do you own any Sizzix embossing folders? Because if you do and they're not oversized, which are new for Sizzix, the oversized size, chances are they're A6 in size, which means you can take this paper, put it right inside the embossing folder, send it through, and then sand it. And you don't have to cut anything. You just put it right inside the embossing folder and off you go. All right, so let's take, I love this color. Let's take, and I'm going to do my best to center it up. Bring over my machine again. Making sure I've got my Go Press and Foil constantly heating because we're going to get there. My base platform. My impression pad or my knock knock, my squishy, my paper with the side I want to see facing down, and I'm going to try and center this to the best of my abilities. I'm not Hallmark, I'm handmade. Handmade rocks. And now I'm going to send it on through. And the squishy's going to grow larger and larger and larger. Can you pull it back? If you want to. It's not necessary, but you can. And now I've got a debossed side that I could use, and I've got an embossed side. Let's do a debossed side just so you can see. Let's grab another color and let's run it through one more time. And I'm going to center it up. That way I have one debossed and one embossed. I'll go this way. So let's center it on up. And send it on through. And bring it on back because I can. All right, so here's my embossed side. Let's see if I can not get those bumps in there. Look at how easy is that. And then I have my debossed side. Totally different look. I'm just doing around the edges a little bit. Totally different look. But you get both, so you choose which one you like. Now I could come back with my ovals, and I could choose to cut that solid out. I could also choose to make it a frame. How about we cut the solid out? Let's bring my machine back over. This time we are die cutting, so I'm not going to be using my squishy and my knock knock, but I absolutely have to have my solo shim as if we're just cutting any other die. Now you may choose to tape everything down in place or use a magnetic platform. I'm just going to go for it. I've centered my die up. Oh, my plate is warm from being on my GoPress and foil machine. And I'm going to send it on through. Let's straighten my plates up. I hear Kevin, keeper of the secret sauce at Sizzix, saying, "Square up your plate, Stacey." Nope, see, I moved it again. Well, let's see if I've got it. One roll. It's an open frame die, easy peasy. And bam. But I'm left with this piece because I centered it. You think I can make that embossing happen? It's going to be awful close. But we can try. So I've got this one. Now I can take and I can make a frame out of it if I want. Now I've made a frame. With my embossing feature. So, and I still have a solid that I can use. It's all about having multiple options. Multiple options with one set. SMS girl Elena, remind me, we need to replace my craft mat. I've got bumps in it. And when I'm sanding, it's hitting those bumps. So now I've got that. But I've got this. I wonder if I can get it lined up. We'll see. Time will tell. All I can do is try. All it is paper. Take off my solo shim. Bring over my squishy and my knock knock. I think that looks about good. It's close. Put on my top plate and let's send it on through. By the hair of a chinny chin chin is what I got. But sometimes it just takes a hair. I always say, if you ever notice a hair, somebody email me. If there's a hair on the chinny chin chin, just do a girl a solid and send an email. Stacey. Well, I went too far. Oh, but look at how pretty that would have been. Oh man, but I think I can tape it so you won't see it. But look at everything that I can do. I think I can tape it so you won't see it. Hello, sticky dots. These are sticky dots. Hundreds of thousands of little dots. I'm just going to put some on this side. And pull it up. And I fixed it. Where there's a will, there's a way, and once I tape it all down, nobody's going to know the difference. Oh my gosh. So much to be done with these. So much to be done with them. Now, you're saying, could I emboss this one? Not so much. Let me show you why. Sometimes it's every bit as important to show you what not to do as to what to do. So let's pull out the smaller embossing element that goes with, that will fit this one. So because it's so close in size, when I use that squishy's gonna push that paper and it might make the die move and stretch so it won't be center on my die cut. You want to use bigger pieces, or you want to do your embossing first and then die cut. Because remember, we're not asking it to do it like a deep 3D embossing. We're asking it to put the image in so we can sand it to get the detail of it. These are different than anything else. Come on. So I've lined it up. I'm gonna start seeing if it pushes it out. Oh, it looks pretty good. Well, it looks pretty good. Yeah, but it did. It moved it just a little bit. So if you have it on the bigger paper, you have a better opportunity. So it just pushed it towards this edge a little bit more than up here. It's not bad. I'm dying to know what those bumps are. I have no idea what's underneath here. It's driving me crazy. Oh, adhesive. Oh, look at a bump there. Because every time I sand, the little bump gets sanded too. So it moved a little bit, not too bad. But most often, it will move enough that you're not going to be happy with it. I always recommend you emboss first and then do your die cutting. But then I could put that inside of there. Oh, see, look at the options. And then I could take and make another window because I have another die that will fit in there and window that out too. Really up to you. They're all useful. They're all meant to work together. They're meant to give you as much as I possibly could in one set. By the hair of its chinny chin chin. So I had my dies sized to work with the A6 paper, which means they'll also work with A2. Oh, squishy. Where's my squishy? Gotta have my squishy down. All right, so this will be the last one I do, because then we need to move to the foiling. I like the textured side to see on my finished project. Well, let's go for it, right? Square up your plate, Stacey. Send it on through. And bring on back if you want to. And then give a nice little sand to that lighter shade of lavender on the inside. And then I could put that one there. I could cut a hole. I could just put a beautiful sentiment right in there and call it done. It's all up to me. It's whatever I want it to be. I don't have to die cut this at all. I could put a sentiment right in there and be done. I could put stamp a sentiment right in the center of here, throw some embellishments on, some florals, and call it done. The choice is yours. The dies let you do so much. And there are 4 different shapes. The ovals, the rectangles, the top notes, and somewhere the hexagons. And each one of them has a different embossing element. But I want to use these to foil with. So let's bring over my foiling machine. Not going to need my squishy and my knock-knock. I'm not going to need my base platform or my solo shim. I am going to need my Go Press and Foil machine or any of the machines that will allow you to do heat emboss. This isn't done with a Minx machine or a laminator. This is a heat emboss machine. Now this is a Go Press and Foil, and you can see that mine is very used. It's very loved. When you get it and you turn it on, when you plug it in, there's a little red light that goes on. That red light just tells you it's plugged in. It does not tell you you are heating up the element until you actually push it and it starts to blink. Once it starts to blink, it'll go green when it's ready, and you can feel the heat. It's almost like a really nice hand warmer. Will it get hot enough? Yes, it gets pretty darn hot. Absolutely. You want to keep this away from the kids. When you take it away, it's going to start cooling down. When you put it back into the heat element, it's going to start heating back up. You take it away, it's going to cool down. You put it in, it's heating up. Now, every machine, every die cutting machine is slightly different. Mine is as old as the hills, and therefore my die cutting machine is a little looser than most, meaning that the pressure isn't as tight as it once was. Everybody's die cutting machine starts out the same, but as you use it, will change. Same with the tool here. The more you use it, look at my lid's a little warped. The more you use it, the more it's going to, the lid's gonna warp. You're going to need to shim. No matter what you do, if you're using it with a big shot machine, you're going to need to use a shim, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So I want to take my die, and I'm going to put my die with that embossing feature face up. And I'm going to take a piece of paper, and I'm going to grab some foil. Now this is Go Press and Foil. It will work with glimmer foil, any heat embossing, heat transfer foil, not toner-based foil. So if you're using a toner-based foil, you're putting it through your laminator and it's transferring. That is not this. This is different. So I've got my little die there with my embossing up. I want my pretty side to go against my die, and then my paper. And then my paper, and close it on up. Hopefully I didn't move it. Now, this says it's green. Green means it's good to go. But I'm going to tell you, I just put that die in there and that paper in there. My guess is that it's really not quite good to go. This doesn't have all the settings and bells and it just has a light. That's it, and that's all you need. I want to let this get a little warm. See, it went back to blinking red. So I know I need to give this just a second to heat up. And that's why I've been turning it on the whole time we've been using it, to keep it kind of warm and ready to go as opposed to starting from scratch. So within a few minutes, oh, there it just went green. Told me that this is hot enough to work. Now I'm not going to add a single shim. I'm going to send this through my machine. And I didn't add any kind of a shim at all. And I want you to see how easy this is rolling. Like too easy. Like no pressure at all, right? None. Now Now the minute I do that, I'm going to put this right back in my heating element because I want it to continue to get hot. Open it up, and it didn't transfer anything. Look at that, nothing, because there wasn't enough pressure. Now every machine is going to be a little different. And this is new for Sizzix. They've never had dies that have allowed for an foiling element before. With my machine, it is now taking 2 pieces of 100-pound paper, folded in half, and then folded into each other. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4 layers of 100-pound paper is what my machine is taking. Your machine may only need 1 folded over 100-pound paper. Your machine may need 80-pound paper. Your machine might not need anything. It's so brand new. But my machine needs the paper. Now I can either put my paper there, I can put it here, wherever I need to put it so that it creates the shim. And again, it says it's good to go, but I just added that extra paper in there. So I'm not so sure it's as good to go as I think. I'm just going to give it an extra second or 2 to heat, see if it turns red. And yep, see, it turned red. It finally got to that paper and said, "Ooh, yeah, this isn't quite hot enough." And then I'm going to wait here for a second for it to go green. This is the easy peasy machine. You don't have to think anything more than, is it on, is it blinking, or is it green? Those are your options. And then there it's green. And then it's all about the shim. So if you have a platinum machine, the shim may be 1 sheet of 100-pound paper. You have to pull it out with these dies and just play with it. Have no expectation for the first hour until you find your shim. And then you need to slow your roll. So I need to slow my roll because this is all done by heat and pressure. And let's see how I did. Let's see if that's enough of a shim, or if I need to add more. It seemed to go through pretty darn simple. So it's never going to be a tough roll. Put it right back in. That way my heating element is constantly heating. I'm going to leave that in there so it's constantly heating. And then when I pull it off, I'm foiled. It really is that simple. Now your shim can go on the inside, it can go on the outside. Let's do it again. I'm going to save that one. Let's do it again. And let me grab another piece of paper. And let's bring my machine on over. And let's bring some rainbow. Ooh. So I'm going to save that one for later and cut a clean piece. So I put the other one to the side because it had some scratches in it from me not putting it back in the box. So let's put this, I want the pretty side down. I want my paper. I think I can move it up just a little bit. I think I can move it over just a little bit. Close it up. And this time I can put the shims on the outside. So it's saying, yep, it's not hot enough yet. And maybe I need to add one more shim. Maybe I need to take one shim away. It's all going to depend upon your machine. But Sizzix has never had plates that will allow you to do embossing. And now foiling. Now not only do the plates emboss, but all of these will foil for you. So now you can foil and die cut. You could letterpress and die cut. You think I'm good? We'll try it. It's only white paper and the foil is very inexpensive. So let's run it through. A little slow and steady wins the race because you're doing a heat transfer. So I want to make sure that that roller has enough time. Slow and steady wins the race. Bring it on back. Oh, too much. Look at that, see? Too much of a shim. Ha ha. Let's try it again. So let's bring my foil and let's back off a little bit. Foil, card, close it up. Let me take one of those shims out. Let me just use a single sheet of 100-pound paper. So with the green, it wanted me to use 2, but with the rainbow, it says maybe just 1. It's all about experimenting, and you have to be willing to experiment. You have the machine. Oh my gosh, the machine is so wonderful. It's so easy to use. And there's so many foiling plates out on the market. And letterpress plates or better press plates. Yes, you can foil those too. Absolutely. All right, let's see what I get. Now I backed off a shim. It feels very loose. Maybe not quite enough. Or maybe perfect. Oh my gosh. Holy smokes, artichokes. Look at that. Perfect. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. And then you can die cut it. And it's beautiful. Look at that. I love these dies because of the options that you get. Ink up the embossing feature and you've got a letterpress. Let's put this right back in. I wonder if we can foil. Put this back in. I wonder if we can foil. It's perfect. It's perfect. You just have to play. I wonder if we can foil. Let's grab the gold. We may have to do it twice because I don't know if it's 1 shim or 2. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna say 2 shims. And if I'm wrong, we'll back one out. And see what we get. So I'm going to give, oh, see, it went green really fast. I think it's probably ready because I keep putting my plate back in every time I'm done. So it's constantly heating. The minute I take it out, it starts to cool. You put it back in, it starts to heat up. Roll, roll, roll. Feels like nothing. Really, feels like nothing. Like you're not even, I mean, it's so different than a feeling of die cutting. A little bit on the edges, but you know what? I'm actually okay with that. Look at how pretty is that. Oh. Then we could, then we could bring over our squishy and our knock knock. And we could add the embossing feature and then sand that. Do you get where I'm going with all of this? It is just technique after technique after technique. It is play day after play day after play day, and I've only shown you a smidgen, just a smidgen of what these dies can do and where I plan to take them over the next year, 2 years? I don't know. Sizzix gets to say how long I get to design. I suppose if they're selling, if everything's selling well, I get to continue. And if not, they'll say, oh, Stacey, I don't think we need a release from you this month. Okay, so let's do a frame. You think I can cut them both at the same time? Do I walk on the wild side? Or do I do it individually? I know, I could tape it down. I know, but what fun is that? Nope, I don't have my shim. I'm like, that's way too easy for die cutting. I'm missing my, yep, look at that. Didn't even budge, didn't even move. Missed my solo shim, which I think is an A shim now. Because I was playing with a new machine, I'm like, that's not what my shim says. But my machine is so old, but it still works. It takes a licking and keeps on ticking. It's a great, you're talking about a workhorse of the industry, the Sizzix Big Shot machine. All right, so let's try it again. Square up your plate, Stacey. Love you, keeper of the secret sauce, Kevin. But you're in my head, and I don't know if that's wrong. Oh. My goodness, this is so much fun. Options. It's all about the options. It's about making something out of what you thought was nothing. It's about taking beautiful things, beautiful tools, which is what a die is, what a stamp is, what a stencil is. It's a tool because you buy it once, you never buy it again. Well, sometimes you do because you liked it so much. Hello, that's me. I'll buy something twice, 3 times because I liked it so much. I kept buying it. But the idea is that if you take care of it, it will last you your entire crafty journey and maybe that of somebody else. You're like, did she just wing that? She did. Wah-ha-ha-ha-ha. So pretty. Look at the foil. I don't know, folks. It's pretty wonderful having this many options with one set. And again, I haven't shown you hardly anything of what it can do. I've got demos after demos after demos coming your way. But this is using my fanciful framelits. In a way of using dies that maybe you haven't seen before, because I don't think anybody has ever really done a die and embossing. Usually the embossing or the detail is built right into the main die. So you cut the die and you get the little stitched edge. You cut the die and you get the little stitched edge. I wanted you to have options. And again, I know what I have planned for these. So as long as Sizzix gives me the thumbs up, I have a whole collection of them this year. So a whole collection of shapes this year. And then we're gonna go bam in 2025 and just your head is gonna spin. I can't wait, but that's so long away, but I can't wait. So 4 shapes for now, more on their way as I launch the rest of my lines for Sizzix this year. All incredibly useful because you get the embossing element, you get the solids, you can use them together, you can use them independently of each other, you can mix and match them, and they all have that fabulous teal little bar down there that says, hello, I'm a Stacey's Park product for Sizzix. Hello. There I am. As long as you see that color, you know it's me. Okay, so I'm gonna run you through some of these before I show you some of the samples. These are storyboards to kind of help. So here's the ovals with that embossing element. And these are frames, so little frames. Here's the ovals without the embossing elements, just used as frames. Here's the solids with the embossing elements. Here's the solids without the embossing elements. Here's a letterpress, taking ink and sending it through. Here's a letterpress with the solids. So no foil, just ink. Here's our foil. Here's our foil on black. And here's our foil on solids. And then you saw I did a foil as a frame. So these are my ovals. Then we have my hexes. So hex frames with that edge, but frames without. Solids with the edges embossed. Solids without. Letterpress with ink. A double embossing and a frame cut out. Letterpress as solids. Foils. Oh, the foils make my heart happy. And foils as solids, but you could do frames. There are the hexes. Then I have top note. Top notes as frames with the embossing. Top notes without. Top notes as solids with the embossing. Top notes without. Letterpress. Letterpress as solids. Foil. Look at how it picks up that perfect detail of those dots. Look at the dots. It just picks up the perfect detail. Foil. And then foil as solids. Or frames, you can do either. And then the last one I have is the rectangles. So here we have, nope, these go in a different direction. Here we have rectangle solids with the embossing, rectangles with the solids, no embossing, frames with the embossing, frames with no embossing, letterpress, letterpress in frames, foil, foil, and foil in frames. Right? Okay, let's show you some samples. Okay, let's show you some samples. So I'm going to start with these because these are Milla's, and she used, not only did she use my stencil to do these, but she was using my frames to cut the hexes to make the earrings, and then shrinky dinking them down, doing the Sizzix shrink plastic. So she used my stencils and colored, shrunk those down, cut them with my hexes. She did the backs in the white with white shrink plastic, and then the little cards that she made, also done with my embossing feature. Milla, wow, holy smokes artichokes, well done you. Here we've got two of the top notes. And we've got frame after frame after frame, all embossed, all done with the ovals. Again, top note, look at how cute. Even this is part of the top note. Look at how cute is that? All with the embossing element. Here we just use the ovals as solids to cut out the cars and to add a slight shadow to the background. We didn't use the embossing elements at all. And here we use the debossed element and then inked over the top of it. So you see that debossed element. And then you've got the debossed element in the foil. And you've got an embossed element over here. This is fabulous. And hello, beautiful. This is Brenda DeLoyer. She took my little hexes, the smallest hexes, and she just went to town. And then she pieced them all together, and she used the embossed element to add the depth and the texture to this. Look at that. She just cut, and then embossed. Wow, girlfriend, that is amazing. And then here, also Brenda DeLoyer, look at here. She made waves out of it. She's got the top note here and the top note here. And here, she used the embossing element to make these party streamers. Oh my gosh, you guys. I try not to look at these until I see them. Here we've got my stamped element, and then we've got just a note from my stencils. We've got the rectangles being used with all of the letterpress element going around it. And here, my petals stamp, but here's my rectangle with the embossed element just for the sentiment. And honorary SMS girl Katie did this one, love this one. So again, using those little hexes and then the larger one, all of them with that detail on it, that embossed detail and the reveals paper. These were all done with the reveals paper. I made this one. So I used my stencil, I used my reveals paper. I actually made the card out of the reveals paper. I did the embossing. I used a smaller one. I used the smallest one to stamp thanks in it. And here we have, it's a good day to have a good day. Again, no embossing on this, just die cut hex into hex into hex and layering them in beautiful colors for a happy card. And I did this one where I used my downtown stencil. I used my die, my hex die. I sanded, I added a sentiment, but then I did it this way too. So you could see it both ways. You have options. And here we have the top note. Look at how cute is this. This one is by Tanya Brooks. Look at how darling. You've got the top note. She made the card base out of the top note. I love doing that. You've got the top note here, the top note there. All three of these dies are from the same set. And here we have the stamp that I used today. We've got a frame done with the rectangles. The back is done with the rectangles. She's gone in and colored. The Just a Note is from my stencil set, Franz. Look at how beautiful is this. Yes, I get excited. I do, because it's so inspiring to see what everybody else has done. Look at how cute is this, also by Tanya. Look at this, all done with the hexes. Boy, you guys really like the hexes. That almost looks like jeans, doesn't it? And then another top note. This one was done by honorary SMS girl, Catherine. This one's very cool. Britt, love the colors. So she took the bottom half and put it up there. Look at how bold that is, and just layered them in with the reveals paper. If you are getting these dies, you need the reveals paper and the sanding tool. That is what makes the magic come to life. Again, just layered right into each other with one of my big sentiments right across. Thankful for You comes with one of my stencil sets. And then we went kind of grungy. Love this look. Dana, hello you. Hello, beautiful. That's gorgeous. Tap into your magic. That is beautiful, girlfriend. And then the last one I have for you is from Milla, where she's done stenciling with my fronds. She's used my top note. So pretty. All right, you guys. Well, this was really, really, really long. I know. But there was so much to show you. Everything from the new gotcha tool. That really does, I mean, it really does get you. Holds a ton of dies. The new gotcha tool to the new sanding blocks, 2 per pack, to the reveals paper that you're going to use those sanding blocks with, 2 sizes, to the, holy smokes, artichokes, the squishy and the knock knock to make that embossing happen. My 4 sets of dies. They are on an I Want It All. My 4 sets of layering stencils. They are on an I Want It All. my 4 A5 stamp sets. They are on an I Want It All. And then if you haven't got my inks yet, they really are beautiful inks. I'm very lucky to have been asked to partner with such a high quality, respected manufacturer like Jacquard. They are known in the fine art industry as a leader in the industry, and they are paving their way in the paper crafting world by bringing beautiful product at affordable pricing that does what it says and says what it does and is just magnificent. And yes, I have re-inkers for all the first 12. The next colors will come out probably in July. And I'm probably only doing, maybe I think I'll do 4 colors. I'm teetering between 4 and 6. And we are slowly going to build the collection. It's not going to be 12 colors every time. Maybe just 4. I'm trying to narrow it down. So that will be July, and then we'll have the next release maybe in October. It's going to be a slow grow on these. That way you can collect them all and not feel pressure to get them all right now. All right. I have got so much on sale for you. I don't even know where to start. You guys, I know it's been a long class, but it is my very first collection with Sizzix. It is my very first collection with Jacquard, and coming soon is my very first collection with Couture Creations. And what you need to know is that nothing overlaps. They're all meant to work together. So what's coming from Couture Creations is going to work with what I have from Sizzix. It's going to work with what I have from Jacquard. And they're all special little elements of the industry where I get to take and make a whole package for you so that you see how everything is meant to work together and yet independently of each other to give you the whole package. So thank you. Thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for your support. I can't even begin to tell you, especially the retailers and the makers out there, the retailers who took a chance on me. Stacey Park from Canyon Country, California, who saw me as a, yes, I'm an independent retailer just like they are, but said, you know what? We support all independents, and they included me in that. I am here for you, and I'm here to support you. So if any of you have a local independent retailer out there, ask if they're carrying the Stacey Park brand of Sizzix. If they're not, see if they will special order it for you. And if not, then come shop online. If you're a local, we hope you come visit us in our retail store. I have all of my product here now, and I'm hoping that my explanation of why there will always be a delay in me launching is because I respect my fellow peers. They mean something to me, even though I've never met most of them. We all are in this together. So, I am Stacey, owner of Scrapbooking Made Simple, but licensed designer for Sizzix, Jacquard, and Couture Creations. Maybe one more still coming. You can find all this product at Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Your favorite independent retailer, your favorite online retailer, or Sizzix.com. All right, you guys, I'll see you later. Bye.